Rural Community Schools Incorporated Board's June 11th, 2012 meeting to order at 6:01. I'll spit all that out in a minute. Call to order in recognition of voting and new board members.
For this meeting, you've got these people voting, and then you've got a new board member, Debbie. And technically, she doesn't take effect until July 1, yet when it comes to the election of officers, then it will be the ones that would be voting July 1 that would actually vote for officers. So at that point in time, you will be voting too for that one.
All right. Minutes from previous meeting of May 14th, board meeting and executive session general membership. Anybody have any changes, comments?
I move that we accept.
All right, Paul makes the motion to accept the previous meetings. Can I get a second?
Second.
Amanda seconds. All those in favor? Treasurer's report.
Okay, as of today, we have, now this is the 11th, the 15th, we get another $76,000 in the account. But as of today, we have a total of $246,507.22, of which the $1,165.97 is the Rural Community Board account. So it's separate from the others, but it's included in there. And we still have our common school fund loan and bank deposits. This is what's happened in the last 30 days since the last meeting. Any questions about deposits? They're broken down by extracurricular and regular. And then moving on to payments that we need approval on. I'll glance down through and see if there's anything particular we need to look at. Butler's Repair, I expect a bill from them, and that includes the transmission. The transmission's already been included, but I honestly don't know what to expect from them until they get a bill to us. So I just put $5,000 because I know the one's $2,800.
Was this to replace the one they replaced? Or is this something different?
No, this would include what they've done the entire school year. They do not bill until the end of the school year. I've asked them to bill monthly every time we go, but that never seemed to happen. She doesn't like to make bills out there, he said, so. I said, well, I've got to have it by June 30th. And of that $5,000, Paul, I'm guesstimating that $2,800 of it is the transmission, and that was already approved separately.
Yeah, and we're not under warranty and everything, right?
Yeah, and the second one's under warranty, yes. And then what happens once a year for a share is that Connie Monroe is your deputy treasurer, I'm your treasurer, and we have to be bonded so that we won't run off with the money. So it costs you $1,000, which is kind of like thievery, just to say we're honest. So in the event that there be any loss of cash from us handling the cash, then you guys would be reimbursed for that money. That's just standard. You got to be able to be bonded. Graves Plumbing, we're now getting to the point that we're starting to have some of that stuff come in. They were here the other day. We had a problem with our facilities grant. I had to go to Indianapolis. The guy sent me an email, so I went by and saw him. No repairs on the heating and cooling system cannot be included in the facilities grant. So, I had approval for the facilities grant, so now I'm asking for approval for this. And what I did do was switch around, and he said that this would be okay to pay the $3,000 for the repair of the walk-in cooler, because we replaced everything. So he's gonna allow that. Well, that wasn't on the facilities grant. Does that make sense what I'm telling you? So I switched invoices around, because this is what we had to do anyway. So I just wanna be sure and get the people paid. And maintenance and cleaning supplies, I'm sure Rhonda's gonna need a lot of stuff for the summer, paint, whatever we're gonna need. Every quarter, we pay public employees retirement fund, and we pay the teachers retirement fund.
By the way, the new equipment looks nice.
Playground equipment, yeah. Well, those guys are experts, thank you, thank you. Well, I went through and picked what I thought, but then I asked the guy, you tell me, and that's what he picked too, so I thought that's pretty good. Okay, and I think that's it. Normal things.
Any questions? Everybody good? Motion to accept the treasurer's reports.
I'll make it.
Amanda makes it. Can I get a second? All seconds. All those in favor?
Wait down there. I'm writing.
She has to take good notes.
Yeah, to write a little
Oh, that's
portrait.
All right, well,
I don't have a recorder, so.
And trust me, that's hard to do. All right, no membership applications. Anything need added or tabled? Good. Old business, review of cash flows to determine staff bonuses.
I sent to you an email, and let me explain, but the one that I did send to you, Paul caught it, and I appreciate that, because you just get so crazy. I was looking at all the numbers and not the headings. Anticipated, projected means, this is what I projected last year, that you approved. Now, we're not through with June 30th yet, so this is anticipated, based upon what I think is coming out, okay? So these are how we're comparing. And I've made little notes for things that, as to why you know it's off from what I originally projected. And when we get down to expenses, in other words, I projected $1,130,000, we're at $1,145,000. But if we'd have gotten reimbursed on some of our expenses, we'd have had more money than that. Then our pattern cells, all I'm doing is showing you the ones that I calculated that would be impacted by the bonus. And they're the normal, and I did total wages, so you can kind of see that. And then all of the additional expenses, you know, a lot of them, whenever you budget, you don't know what you're actually gonna spend it on. Like the facilities grant, you know you're getting the money, but you don't know exactly which category you were gonna spend it on. And that's why admin equipment, because I can't put it down on anything else. Equipment has got to be, that kind of equipment's got to be depreciated. So
Susan, do you think the 34,000 will be in by the end of the month?
no, it
No.
will not be. It probably won't come till, if they get the checks processed, it'd be the 30th, okay? If they're gonna be good to us. Otherwise, it'll be the 1st of July. Before we get the money.
So if we don't
So
get.
that's no
the-
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's no big deal. It's just technically into the next fiscal year.
Right.
So that it'll still be coming in.
Well, it does impact the like the merit bonus
Well, not really, because
impact. I mean,
you-
even if you look at the math.
because it doesn't matter. The point is that, you know, next year, if we get it this year, it's one thing. If we get it next year, it's the same thing. You know, you just still got so much money in the bank.
Yeah.
And that's why I just kind of let that go. But I wanted you to know that it is going to be higher than what I expected. Because I couldn't guarantee you the facilities grant or anything.
Yeah.
So in terms of cash and so forth, there's no, you don't see any problems with where we end up with merit payout?
No, this is where I see cash flow problems coming. And I know that we've got lobbyists that are working on it. It's whenever, if we have to pay back that common school fund loan. That's when I'm worried about in 2 or 3 or 4 years. But other than
And this
that,
is
we've
the
got
first year-
cash now, huh?
And this is the first year you booked interest on that, is that right?
No, I haven't even booked the interest yet. I'm going to a workshop like on June 27th to find out about that.
Would that come
We
this
not.
year or next year?
No, we got one whole 12-month period before they even think about doing it again.
I see.
Okay, so we've had that loan, Paul, for almost 3 full years,
Yeah.
not paying any principal or interest.
Or
Okay?
booking any interest, right?
Or booking any interest, right. And until the State Board of Accounts came in and did the audit for those first 2 years, and then when I'm going through the audit and I'm going, well, that's not right, okay? And none of the schedules from the state show any interest. They showed 0, so why would I think there would be,
Right,
okay? And it's probably like $17,000.
a year.
No, total right now. is
Total,
what I
oh,
think.
accumulated,
Yeah,
you mean?
accumulated.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Now, we're hoping, the state has forgiven common school fund loans for traditional public schools. So we're hoping that we're in a good light to really push for that. Because the state's now made a stand on charter schools, and I'm hoping that they follow through all the way to give us that debt. We'll see. But so I've always been worried about cash flows with common school fund loan, always. But I was real thrilled whenever they said
Did
forgive
you
it.
even have
for 3
defined
years.
terms on the loan? I mean, like, when they gave to us, they said it was a 20-year loan? Or?
Yeah, yeah. They're all, one of them is 10 years and the rest of them are 20. And it didn't matter whether it was 10 years or 20, it's 4% interest. And if you go to the bank, Paul, we are not like other schools because we do not have a bonding function as a public school.
Right.
Therefore, our interest is like any traditional commercial account.
Yeah.
It hurts. And it costs like $8,000 just to be able to have an attorney write up a bond if we were even eligible for it. And we're just too small to do that. I have gone back over, and I did not bring it, but I've gone back over, we haven't offered 2% for, I believe, 5 years.
What did we pay last year?
1.25, I think. 1.25.
And what changes next year? This may be last year we can do this, right? Or this is-
Don't know, if we have to start paying back that common school fund loan, yeah, it may put a damper on it.
No, you're talking about the state changes.
Yeah.
The
I'm
bonuses-
lost.
The bonuses will be based on the teacher's test performances.
Yeah, but the money's still gotta come from somewhere, right?
Yeah. I was thinking the
See-
process is changing.
The process is changing, but what we've got right now, and the way this whole thing was set up, was a guaranteed increase because you're coming back on your base salary. Then a merit bonus, okay? Now, the board still determines the merit bonus amount. 0, 1%, 2%. But when you give that merit bonus out, now it's based upon whatever salary you've got, base salary, not stipends and all that stuff. So it's base salary. Well, if you've got 2%, they're not gonna let you give it on base salary. They're gonna make you do it based upon merit. And that means in a school such as us, we're pitting those teachers against each other for those dollars. I don't like it.
Well,
They
any
do,
of the schools
they
around
do.
here.
Huh?
Any schools around here.
Yeah,
I
all
mean,
of them
small
gonna have
schools,
to, yeah.
But small
Yeah.
schools are gonna push for
And it's like, well, what bonus did you get, you know? Because anybody who gets any kind of a slap on the wrist about anything, let's say they didn't turn their lesson plans in, well, that's kind of a basic for teachers. And if that would happen, that we criticize somebody for that, everybody in the school is gonna know about it. So everybody in this school is also gonna know that I only got 0.25% and this one got 1.25% and I'm a better teacher. So now we start pitting staff against staff, and that's not good. We think we got a great staff, and if they're gonna stay, if we're gonna offer them that come back. I don't know why they shouldn't all be treated equally. All staff, not just teachers. Bus drivers, cafeteria, everybody, they're all part of one big team. Amen.
All right. So we need a recommendation, who's, what percentage is everyone suggesting? That's a lot of help, Amanda.
I don't have an objection to the 2%, but I want you to see that it's $13,000. Okay?
I mean, I was, we gave 1.25 last year.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I hate to get
In the
too,
middle.
I'd like to do as much as you can, but you don't want to get. I'd like to know what's gonna happen with that loan.
Oh, yeah. It made me sleep a lot better.
You got enough stuff to lose sleep with.
I sleep pretty good that home. I really do.
Lady, you got any?
Not too much gonna bother me.
I think probably right in the middle. We did 1.25 last year. Give us room for a.
Okay, Amanda.
My opinion? Well,
Yeah,
I wish we
we're all-
could give
we're
her a
all in
lot of
the
money,
middle.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, I think, I just worry about every year.
Yeah.
What the state's gonna do, because it changes all the time. So, I think to be safe.
1.5 is
Yeah.
what
1.5, we're good with 1.5.
We should give
That's
them a
more
lot
than,
more.
well, they're worth more.
I know.
All
Well, the other way to look at it too, I mean, I think 1.5's,
Yeah.
I'm good with that, but I mean, you did budget for a loss this year.
Yeah,
Of almost
and we came up, yeah.
$9,000.
Yeah, I really thought cash flow might get us this year. And it pretty much is breaking even, or even better if that stuff comes in July 1, but I can't count it July 1.
All right, well, I'll make the motion.
Okay, Amanda makes the motion for 1.5. Merit bonus, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Maria seconds it, all those in favor?
And that's for all staff?
All
Yeah.
set.
All right, new business, resignation of Free.
And Jackie brought the June 11th, as of today's date, June 11th, I'm resigning from the board at Road Community Academy. Raymond did come to me yesterday and told me that he was going to resign.
You need a motion to accept Raymond's resignation?
I'll make it.
Amanda makes the motion, can I have a second? Maria seconds it. And that one, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appointment of replacement for parent representative number 1.
But no, Carla has been interested in a while, and so we finally, she doesn't mind, I'd like to make a motion for her to take over for Raymond's term until he's done.
Let's introduce Carla. There she is, she was a hand up.
It's a school.
Carla? You know, the board's got a mix of parents and community members, and Carla is a community member who happens to think enough of this place that she comes in every Wednesday, all school year long, and works for the staff, making copies and helping the school. In addition, that is because she's freed her time up by retiring from Union Hospital Health Group, isn't it? Is that what they call it now?
Yeah.
Health Group. And how long you been a nurse?
34 at Union and some before that.
And not just a regular floor nurse, you were in the intensive care, weren't you? I mean, I know you were there when my nephew came up and.
Yes. Intensive care, for the most part, critical care is my love still. I get asked, are you still still a nurse? And it's like, yeah, I'll always be a nurse. I'm licensed in 3 states. I've done a few other things. Asian education coordinator and house supervisor, briefly up there, and that's pretty interesting.
But one thing that I think you had told me was that you went back and got a Master's of Science in Business.
In management.
In business management?
Management.
In management. Okay. So that's something I think would lend itself well to this. Of course, I've got a degree in business also, and so there's a little camaraderie, you know?
When my kids went to the school, it was under a different name at that time. So, you know, I have ties to the school.
Your husband went to school here too? He's a great alumni. Now you do have a conflict of interest as far as you have a sister-in-law that works here, is that it?
A sister-in-law and
And a niece.
Yeah.
And that's Connie Monroe's her sister-in-law. They're married brothers. And Nikki is married to Scott Monroe, so she's a niece by marriage. And that's about it, isn't it?
It'd be a new challenge if you're interested in me. I have got my firearms class already out of the way, so I think this would be a nice. Acquiring new skill set. Hopefully we won't.
I think it'd be nice to, I mean, because I used to just be a community member on the board, and then whenever Dominic came into our lives, it changed. So I think it's nice to have just community members that they offer a different perspective than parents, I think. So it's a plus.
All right, Amanda recommended her.
Second.
Second. Okay, well, we'll second that. All those in favor of Carla being the replacement for parent representative number 1? There you go.
Congratulations, kiddo.
Thank you. See what I've gotten into.
The door's always open. So if there's questions.
Well, Paul's gonna be beat up every
Of course
month now.
we talk every Wednesday anyway, I think, about something. She's always looking for something to do. That's what kills me. Have you got anything for me to do? Have you got anything for me to do?
Then I have to go find something to do.
Yeah, she'll find something to do.
Well, if you're bored this summer, I keep her busy. If you're bored this summer, I have 2 babies, so.
I've got a new grandchild of my own in Zionsville, so I'm
That's
spending a lot of
true.
time there.
Yeah. Yeah, she was showing pictures
Mhm.
last week, so yeah.
Anybody's interested, I got one.
All right, next on the list then is election of officers to take effect July 1st, 2012.
That means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you need to make recommendations for your officers. I guess first is president.
Yes, president would be first.
You guys can nominate, you can vote.
I'm gonna nominate Malia.
Oh, I'll second that. What do you have to say about this, Malaya?
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
Mix it up a little bit. You want to take notes? Jackie, and you still
It's
do
so
it?
hard.
It's a habit. And I have been, she has called me, I didn't get notes. Did you take notes? Do you have them? So I still do, it's a habit. All righty. Vice President.
I can't.
Paul.
You're nominating Paul?
Sure.
Do you have any objections, Paul?
No.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Seconds. All right. Secretary. Probably out of order.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Debbie.
You're just jumping on that. You're trying to get out of the
She
order.
knows
You know
how to work.
why? Because when Liana wants to know something, she call
You can
you.
call you. You can get in trouble by your daughter.
So you do not mind, correct?
It's not hard.
Okay. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Malia's seconding it. Treasurer.
Carla.
What are you gonna do? Nothing.
Nominator, right?
Nominator you first.
I've done it, so.
Just getting into it, I don't know. What?
You'll be fine.
You got that business management.
You can, really, you only got $1,165, okay, to
Oh, I can
spend.
do that.
But, by the same token, and Paul's good at it too. You see something on these financial statements, or you don't
Sorry,
get
guys, my
it,
daughter's
that's what
never
you
trying to
gotta,
get her to the ballgame 'cause I'm
that's what you
girls
gotta
and
ask me about. Learn as much of this as you can.
So
I'll explain as well as I can.
So you all right with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a second.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Paul will second that one.
All
All right.
Everybody's equally mad at me right now, so it's okay. Because I nominated everyone. You guys gotta speak
All
up
right.
faster. That's all I'm
So your
saying.
president for the next school year is Malia, your vice president is Paul, your secretary is Debbie, and your treasurer is Carla.
Carla,
Carla.
yeah,
Mhm.
I just heard it wrong.
All right, so we are to the board calendar for next year, correct? Okay.
I took the liberty of picking out the third of each month, with the exception of February 11th. If we have a year like this, it will be President's Day on the third Monday. So we've changed that every year. And then the last week of school was the 20th, so I think you want your board meeting on May 13th, executive session, board meeting, and general membership meeting. And other than that, it's pretty much that way unless somebody has any objection to the third Monday that is traditionally done.
Does anybody have an objection to keeping it on at 6 o'clock?
Because that's his problem.
Does that work for you
Yeah.
still? That's fine. We just had trouble with that executive session on the 13th. This year, we might want to.
Well, we.
Just
That's
time
once a
for-
year, that one's once a year.
You guys, let me know, we can't do 4 o'clock. Or Paul and Mandy can't.
6 o'clock, okay.
Okay, now they're on this one.
No, I'm just talking in general, right? In general.
Okay, so you're sticking with the third Monday at 6 o'clock time frame.
Still with May 13th, and we get to April.
That's what we did this past year.
Just leave it like that. And then we'll-
Okay, and then deal with it if there's a problem.
Yeah.
On to contracted services with speech and hearing, and psychological services.
Well, we like to keep the same people that we have, and we've entered into those contracts. And I'd just like approval from the board that we can still enter into those contracts with those people, which is a requirement according to special ed law. Speech and hearing, occupational therapy, and psychological services.
Okay, so I need a motion to renew everyone's contracted services for next year regarding the speech and hearing, occupational, and psychological, correct? Okay.
And when the contracts are prepared, could we have the new president sign them? Because it may be 2 or 3 weeks before I get that done,
That's fine.
if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine, because they're gonna be for next school year anyway.
For next school year, yeah.
Okay. Motion to enter into services, please.
I can make it.
Paula makes it,
Second.
and seconds, all those in favor?
Aye.
Appointment of Chief Operations Officer, Chief Academics Officer, and School Leader.
Now, last month, you rehired the staff, but you've not given us specific titles that it's gonna be the same, and that needs to be a motion as to who is going to be each one of those people.
So it needs to be a motion to appoint you as the chief operations officer and school leader, and a motion to appoint Amanda Johnson as chief academics officer.
That's correct.
I'll make it.
Amanda makes it,
Second.
Paul seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Appointment of treasurer and deputy treasurer and bonding.
Okay, well, I just explained the bonding, but you have to appoint once a year the treasurer and the deputy treasurer.
And that is deputy treasurer is Bonnie Monroe and treasurer is you.
Right.
A motion for appointing Susie as treasurer and Connie as deputy treasurer.
I'll make it.
Amanda makes it. Does that mean you're gonna second that? Paul?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I heard. All seconds, all those in favor?
Aye.
Authority to administer budget to manage balance funds.
Once a year, you have to allow the treasurer to administer the rest of the budget, and we'll be getting a new budget, let's say in August, okay? But we want to be sure and administer the budget and to manage and balance funds, because I have to do that as of June 30th. So once a year, if we've got that in the minutes, we're covered by the State Board of Accounts, because they will look at the minutes to see that that was done.
All right, I need a motion to give Susie authority to administer the budget to manage and balance the funds, please.
I'll make it.
Amanda makes it. A second.
Second.
Amanda seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Let's see, acceptance of all federal, state funds, grants, and donations.
Okay, we want to cover our tails. Right now, applications are up for new grants. They can be coming to us, some of them come to us without us even knowing it. Let's just say the $119 that came out, okay? You have to have a motion to be able to accept it. So we make one motion once a year to be able to accept all federal monies, all state funds, any grants anybody wants to give us, and any donations that anybody wants to give us. And this is primarily for State Board of Accounts to cover our tails. And you guys do want all of that money,
We
don't you?
do want
I
all
thought
of
you
it.
did. Didn't think this would be hard.
So I need a motion to accept all of the federal, state funds, grants, and donations we receive.
I'll make it.
Amanda makes it. Can I have a second?
I will.
Paul seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Curriculum change.
Okay, this is important, guys. We used to talk about the Indiana academic standards, utilizing a place-based curriculum. Well, that meant that the state of Indiana had standards that they determined a child should know at various stages of their educational career in Indiana. That didn't have anything to do with the nation. And as we all know, each state has their own testing. And then you can say that Indiana has a graduation rate of 78% or 82% or whatever it is, but that doesn't necessarily compare to other states. You know, they're getting to the point they'd like to know how we're going to compete against China. And we can't even figure how we're competing against Montana. So, they've now come up with Common Core standards. That means everybody should be learning these things that are students in the United States, if that state's adopted the Common Core standards. So we're actually going to be competing with other states, which makes it a much fairer picture. This is something that's being implemented. We have already started the Common Core state standards, and in kindergarten, we've already implemented them in some of the other grades. We're shifting our teaching focus to that. Would that be a fair assessment of what I said, girls? Okay. This is the problem. We have got math, and we did appoint a committee, including some math teachers that have been retired, and we looked at our math curriculum. Currently, we are utilizing Saxon math, which everybody, that's the basics, Saxon math, in K through 4. And then we've implemented, from the beginning, accelerated math, which is done on computers, and supplemented with Saxon. Well, our test scores haven't gone up that much. And the real problem is that now Saxon in accelerated math are no longer listed on this year's state-approved curriculum. Why? Not because they can't teach math, but instead because they do not have books that meet the Common Core state standards. They've not kept up with all of this, and they're behind, and they've not gotten approved. So we've done a lot of investigation, talked to some teachers, and looked at some educational research that we think we need to go to Envision Math. Now, Sullivan went to Envision Math 3 years ago, I believe. I can remember the day standing there when they donated their Saxon books to us, because I went and picked them all up. And he said, our test scores have skyrocketed. Okay? And they did. The problem is, anytime you introduce a new curriculum, you've got teachers that are going to have to teach that curriculum. And I guess what we want to be sure of is that our teachers are on board with us regarding, hey, this is how we're going to teach math. I think we've got that. The thing that they need is the training. And the reason that Sullivan got rid of Envision, as I understand it, from reliable sources, the teachers weren't on board with it. It was forced right down their throat. Now, the problem is that it does use different terminology. And we have to educate the parents as to what that terminology is so that they can help their kids.
What do you mean by terminology?
Oh, how
I
we...
mean, I know what terminology means, but I mean, what do you, like, give me an example or something?
Can you help me with that?
Normal, like, if it's an addition problem, they're gonna introduce it as some went away. The terminology that they use when they started the multiplication, they group, they use different type of manipulatives to teach it, not only in their terminology, they use the different manipulatives. If I may say, when we were doing connections with the
And Connections uses it.
they use it. So several of us have taught Envisions through the Connection Academy. And it is definitely something that the teacher and I that taught that, we had to really study and learn the way they propose things, and just from even the ground floor, everything starts different than what we're used to seeing when we do Saxon. They use, basically they use a building format, and while they're building that format, they're also putting a writing component into the Envisions, where the kids are actually able to, from the very beginning, even if with the pictures, they're able to actually write a multiplication or an addition or subtraction sentence using pictures. And then as they grow, they're able to turn those into word sentences. So they're building that skill from the very beginning, which is something that our kids are very, very weak.
In other words, story problems.
Yeah.
Our kids are weak in story problems.
Very. And it's made a world difference in the students that have had connections and done the Envisions that were already top students. They done really well once we got the terminology down with the kids.
All right, sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, now this is through K through 5, and it's time. I mean, you gotta start switching them. I mean, you just can't do it K1, 2. That was our problem. We didn't want to do it just K1, 2, and then 3, 4 has something else, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 has something else. So this is an entire Prentice or Pearson product that is designed specifically for K through 5, and then 6, 7, and 8. So it's the research that's been done on it. We just want you to be aware that there's problems probably with the parents and trying to assist them, and that the teachers believe that the change is necessary and they're willing to work on the program, and that's half the battle.
Yeah, as long as get the right training.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do us any good. to
They're
start
saying
something if we're
in-service
not
training
getting
from the
training.
company to ensure the program is used correctly. This is a big step, guys. This is a big step, but we do, I mean, we've got to move forward on this. I mean,
What,
and there's a lot of programs. There's not very many programs on the state website either.
did you say Sullivan switched away from Envision?
I think they had it for, I don't know, 2 years.
They still use it in some, because Carlisle still uses it. And they've had a really good success rate with it at Carlisle because they have some teachers that's willing to get in there and do it. They also have the program at Linton. And Linton actually turned it over and brought it into the whole school. And they allowed their teachers to choose. And there are some teachers that still use it and they utilize it correctly. And they have really good results. So I think it's, if you're gonna use it and you're gonna make it effective, everybody has to do it to be right. To
Do you
get
think
it.
it failed at Sullivan because of teachers?
said she wanted to know.
Teachers and willingness to.
Yeah, and that's coming from pretty reliable resources. And that's not putting down their teachers. They didn't have time to do the in-service. We'd have to do the in-service with the teachers. They have to have that to be able to continue this.
How's the in-service work? Yeah, I mean, you come in during the summer or do you guys go?
Yeah, come in during the summer and we have professional development dollars to pay for it. Yep.
And how do you think the kids would adjust to it?
Well, I haven't taught it, but I had a child in connection in my room, and I flipped through the book just because I was curious, because to me, personally, Saxon is very dated. So I looked through the Envision book. It's very colorful. It's very visual. Our kids are very visual learners. I think that's part of the success with their story problems. Doing the pictures, it's visual before they actually get into the reading. So that's what's helping boost those scores. And it's colorful. Saxon has blue and black, right? That's it. No pictures. I mean, very boring.
And we know they fail on the story problems. And I know you guys have tried to work with them on story problems because that's where we really fall down.
And terminology, I mean, I know I sent home vocabulary that I thought was important for ISEP. They have math vocabulary words because, you know, they don't know some of the terminology they might have, you know, that might come up on there. Well, that's the same thing we're going to have with Envision, the terminology. So you could even do some vocabulary with the kids and have their parents go over the cards and maybe just do it like a game or something with the parents. Involvement.
So like, say a child in second grade going into third grade, going from learning in the Saxon system to this, I mean, do you think it's going to be a pretty hard adjustment for them, or is it going to be, I mean, are they behind?
I think if they're behind, it's gonna be a huge adjustment. For kids that are on task or above, it'll be no problem. Can I use Dominic as an example?
Go ahead.
Dominic did it in 6th grade. He soared at it, and he didn't get the vocabulary and all that from the beginning, but he was, you know, very good in math. His scores this year on ISTEP are awesome. Awesome. He has great scores. I think the kids that are already in advanced, this is a great way to bring that back into our curriculum where we're challenging those kids that are already above. We've got it to where we've discussed this, a lot of us as teachers have put in input, to where the kids that are on target for grade level, it may be a little bit of struggle at first, but they'll be able to pick it up. The only ones that's going to really struggle are those that struggle already.
Right,
And let me tell you, those that are struggling already,
They're gonna struggle.
they're
now.
struggling in Excel, they're struggling in Saxon.
Yeah.
And you take the third and the, I don't know that they know this, you take the third and fourth graders that are weak in math,
I take them that are weak in reading.
weak in reading,
I teach
okay.
reading and language arts and spelling to third and fourth
Okay.
graders. I take the upper grade math kids that are weak, and I teach them
Okay.
math.
Okay, all right.
But I taught Envision math while we had the program for last year and this year.
And remember that we've got the title people that are our backup, so they have to be trained too.
They also have an intensive program that Mandy was telling me about that could be put into our title program that would help with the intensive for those kids who score in tier 2 or tier 3 for our progress
Which means
monitoring.
weaker. which
Right,
means
they
we-
don't learn it the first time,
Right.
the second time.
And that's another thing with that book. You can level that book. There's an advanced, there's an extra work if they need help, or there's, on target if they've got the skill, then you can move on. But there's a workbook that comes with, I know it comes with upper grades, so I'm sure it comes with all grade levels, because I've done it with a couple of students in 3rd grade last year, and we used workbook all year. But you also have your textbook, and there's always going to be supplemental things within each category that you can use to help teach that.
And Valerie Trotter was our math teacher. And we all know and love Valerie. And she's now the math coordinator for for Connections. And she likes it. She likes the Envision. And that goes a long way with me,
Yeah.
having her, because she knows what we do here. She taught accelerated math.
Well, and any change is gonna be a change. It's gonna
Yeah.
affect, them. Yeah.
But more importantly, we've got to do the Common Core standards.
Right.
And and this might help you make a decision. Do you know how hard it is to deal with sales reps from book companies sometimes? They don't follow through. You call them back, leave them a message, they don't email you back, they don't call you back, no anything. Well, we had one from Pearson, to where this year, Mandy got to the point, she called his boss and said, I can't get me somebody that wants to work with me because this guy did not work with me last year and he's not working with me again this year. This guy called and said, Mandy, what do you want? And he is trying to save Grace, maybe save his job, I really don't know. But anyway, there's 2 different reps you deal with. One is K through 5, one is 6th, 7th, and 8th, okay, when you're dealing with Pearson. One's the middle school. This guy's the K through 5. He will give us $15,000 free materials if we will purchase 3,800 and then the training. Now I'm gonna pass this down just because Mandy and I are jumping up and down. Now the other guy he's doing his job, he's not got anything. Of course they do this, they give you free materials anyway, because that's part of the sales pitch. But the 6th through, this is an expensive program. This guy, it'll cost us $5,170 with the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And he'll still throw in $3,500 worth of stuff. And that's kind of the numbers I expect to see. I expected a math program would cost us $15,000 to $20,000. And we can get in like at 8. And I'm going, wow, that's pretty good. Price is right, I do that.
What kind of training? How much training? How many days?
I don't know how many days, because Mandy deals with that, but I'm gonna say, I'm sure it's 1 day, and then they do stuff on webinar too,
Like a person on site or online?
and I don't know that. I really don't know that. I just know that they train people all the time. Have you heard her say? Have you heard Mandy say?
We discussed this because when we adopted the reading series last year, we all did online training with and it was good, but it was not effective enough to give us really what we needed. And a lot of us went to a reading program, seminar, workshop last year for 3 days. So those of us who went had a little leg up on what we needed to do. But it's got to be somebody that you can actually ask questions to, and they can give you feedback. Because when we do it online, you get it all there, you can see it, you go back and watch it again or do PowerPoint, but it's not the same. I think that would be more beneficial, especially teaching the math. is
Like
to
a
get-
workshop or
Yeah, to have some,
live
and most of,
person?
yeah, have a live person.
Do you have influence on that? I think you might be able to influence that.
Mandy will.
Okay.
I honestly can't say. But I think your point's valid. I can understand that. Because you take a webinar and it's not the same.
Well, it's no different than when we adopted Ainsworth.
Mhm.
We self-taught ourselves, and then a year and a half after we taught ourselves, we went to a 3-day workshop and learned how to really do it right.
Mhm.
That was, you know.
And we probably got maybe up to, say, $12,000, $8,000 left from last year's professional development. That is to make effective teachers. That's the only thing. I can't use it to go to Indianapolis to Ball State meeting. It's got to be for teachers. It's got to impact student achievement. So we've got the money to spend. We have to spend it on that.
For the training, is there anything related to making the curriculum change?
Yes, we, and that's why we're discussing this. We can buy textbooks, science books, and grammar books and all that stuff, you know. But when you're doing a curriculum change like this, it needs to have board approval. It also needs to have Ball State University approval. And we have to have that if you guys decide to do this, then we have to have that motion tonight also.
Doesn't sound to me like you're gonna have a choice.
That's the scary part, isn't it? Kat?
Yeah, that's,
The
Yeah.
stuff we've got now is not working. We've looked at the other stuff. This is it.
so,
Yeah, I don't
That's
have
it
a
in
problem
a
making a
nutshell.
change, I'm just trying to figure out what the impact, full impact is,
Yeah.
you know?
and you won't know that until.
Well,
That's the problem.
If we get our people trained right, I'm hoping to see results on this next semester. Because we've been weak in math for a long time. And everybody's busted their bunnies to change it, but if they're gonna change all this, that means the testing changes to Common Core standards too.
So we need a motion to make the
approve
change.
curriculum change.
Make the curriculum change
Yes, we did.
and a motion to make a presentation for that curriculum change to Ball State.
I'll make it.
Amanda makes for both. Make it a second.
Second.
Wait a second. So all those in favor? Aye. Okay, information.
Oh,
That was the last thing there.
gosh, that was hard enough. I mean, I just thought about this and thought about all this curriculum stuff. The inmates were here to remove furniture and carpeting. And I'm telling you that they sent 7 guys who worked their tails off, and we had them for 3 Saturdays, and they got it done in 1 day. They had a snack of Big Macs, okay? Because we're gonna feed them well. I always promise them to feed them well. Snacks. I did bring them donuts this morning too, just saying, guys, it'll be better for snack time. They got it done in 1 day. I was just so impressed. Now, Connie was not happy because they moved all her stuff out of her room and she couldn't find it this morning. And I gave her a couple hours to calm down because I had never seen Connie Monroe angry, but she was pretty angry at me this morning. Because I didn't know they were gonna do it. It's just that that's the way it happened. Anyway, but she's a good gal. She forgave me, I think. Okay, and then this one's probably a shocker. I'm gonna be speaking to Sullivan and Greene County teachers tomorrow evening about charter schools, and I'll be open to all questions. It is an organization of Sullivan and Greene County teachers. Paul, are you laughing?
No, ma'am.
Okay. They called and asked. They asked last year if I would come. They want to know about charter schools, so I'm planning on coming in there with my head and my rear out. Huh? Beta, blah, 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 blah. She said expect 30 to 40 of them.
That'll be interesting.
Where are you doing it at?
Methodist Church. I got a PowerPoint set up. I
What
got
time?
PowerPoint stuff for me.
Should we go cheer?
6 o'clock is lunch, is dinner. I will be the dinner speaker. I say, heck yeah, let's do it. There's so many misconceptions out there. I can't do anything to make them understand a little bit better. I think it'll be really good.
And it's at a church. You should be.
And
Yeah.
And they need to be educated so they understand what's going on, because so many of them have misconcepts of.
Oh yeah, they've been told by their teachers union exactly what's wrong with us.
Right.
And I think this is a fair opportunity to.
Yeah.
Now, wait a
Opportunity.
minute, Monica.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
She's recording it, it's not
I
on the
know.
website. Maybe
I didn't mean anything derogatory. Anyway, Crossroads Community Church, they came out this week, Jeannie and Kurt Howard, Jeannie goes to that church, and they're coming out to help us with our playground equipment and doing our hopscotch and our foursquare, all those kind of little painting tasks. And they're gonna do it sometime during the week of the 9th and 15th. They're also got 2 pieces of playground equipment that is going to be removed.
Oh,
Staff won't let, one of them is that stand-up teeter-totter.
oh, yeah, smart.
It needs to go
I
away.
agree.
And then there's another one that the chains are all off of whatever, and so they're gonna remove it too. And then don't forget your Sullivan County 4-H.
Project stuff.
Yeah.
I'm about tired of cupcakes, believe it or not. All
So
right.
we're on for July 16th at 6 p.m.
Is your next meeting?
No, 4-H fair's the 9th to the 15th.
No, it's the 14th.
Right there.
14th and 21st.
No, I don't think that's right. Is
Yeah,
that right?
it is.
That is right.
All right, then we don't want to do it on the 16th. So when do you want to do it?
What's the next Monday? Anybody got a calendar?
Now, I thought somebody told me it was the 9th and 15th, then I had the 14th and 21st.
The 14th, because I get to spend my birthday checking in with my daughter before I get
So,
checks.
does anybody know what the week would be? The 23rd? You want to do the July 23rd? Because we don't want to mess with 4-H. Everybody's got kids, and that's a big deal. So July 23rd, I'll change the calendar.
Okay.
Is that okay, ladies?
Also, that works.
July 23rd?
So it's, your next meeting is July 23rd, at 6 p.m.
And before dismissed, you better thank Jackie, she's given 3 years. I know she was
Yes, thank
announced
you.
at the volunteer meeting, but,
You're welcome.
and she took good notes. We all relied on them.
She liked it because I go home and take it from. Because I was like, you couldn't read my handwriting if you had to.
I got lots of little arrows.
Yeah, but yours is legible. Now, see, when I get in a hurry, you never
Yeah, I
know what.
print.
Yeah, my abbreviations
So
are
they
mine.
can't read it.
All right, in that case, I need a motion to adjourn this meeting at 6:58.
Make it.
Oh.
Tried.
Amanda.
Sorry, Paul.
Amanda and Paul make
I
it.
get up pretty early in the morning to get one over on me.